Today we're going to display how to show a prospect manager's name up here after right next to lookup ID. We're going to do that using a data form extension and some out-of-box stored procedures. So you want to start with creating a data form extension that extends this view form, which we've already got here. You'll get a lot of this information will be pre-populated when you try to add a data form extension spec using the SDK in Visual Studio. You go to select the data form you want to extend, and it'll pre-populate this information down here on the bottom. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to show this data right here. I'm going to have it set so it shows up here in line with the product. To start with, we're going to go into design mode, view the XML behind this. You can see that there's a prospect manager. Here's a string. It's got 700 for the length. We'll go ahead and we'll just take that out. We will come in here and add the field in. We'll put prospect manager. 700. Move the other fields. Go ahead and add prospect manager up here as well in the parameters. Add 700. And then we can delete the other parameters. We can delete all this excess noise. We're going to just call the out-of-box procedure. Now we can go take the actual procedure name, copy it out, and put it in our code. So now, to go back and look at this, we'll see that it has a lot of different parameters. What we'll do, only things we really care about: the ID, a data loaded, and the prospect manager one. So what we're going to do is we'll go back to Visual Studio. We'll pass in the ID, the data loaded spec. This is an output, and then our prospect manager, which is also going to be an output. And then we can put a little bit extra code in here. Say if the prospect manager comes back as null, let's set data loaded equal to 0. So, because what happens here is the out-of-box stored procedure always returns data loaded equals to 1, so that it'll show that, so that it will actually show this form. Otherwise, this form would just not display down here. So we're going to have it set so that if it does come back null, there's not one there, we're not going to show the prospect manager label at the top for this. So if we take this now and then we go ahead and load spec this directly into the database, we should go in here. And instead of refreshing and going through all that and having it cache, we'll just quickly open our edit tabs. And we'll just hit save. That'll call for the system to go back and have to re-pull everything in there, and it should show us our new field now at the bottom. And while this is great, this gives us the information we want, we'd really like to see it up here at the top, kind of matching the same styles that the product uses. So what we're going to do is we're now going to add a UI model to this data form. So I've already got my UI model project here. I'm going to go in, we'll just add a UI model to this. Go to the very, very bottom, we'll see our UI model. The name here doesn't matter, that's pre-populated. We'll select our view data form spec. Tell it to generate the HTML file. We can slash and keep populating until we get to our folder name. Right there, make sure the database is set correctly, and we can hit OK. This is going to pre-populate a lot of the data for us. Do yes to all. We'll hit yes here. All right, so now this normal, the VB, we're not really worried about anything in there. We're only really worried about the guts of things, which could be an HTML file. So what I do from here usually is when I have to move things around, is I'll go ahead and copy. Select this right here, and we will just copy this. And we should go in here and paste another version of this. And then we're going to rename this, and I'll just do this just for simplicity's sake, just to create our JavaScript name, or our JavaScript file. Of course, we will remove all of our JavaScript, and all that HTML in there. So now we have our JavaScript and our HTML file. In our HTML file, that was auto-generated by the system. We had the UI model, so you should now see your fields and everything that will kind of make up this. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to modify our HTML so that we can easily move it around and use the JavaScript to manipulate it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with we're going to remove everything from this. I have just the span for the caption. And just the span for the value. What we're going to do is we're going to add a few classes in here to this stuff. So you're going to get some here that are pre-done, but what we want to do, we're going to add some styles on top of this. All right, and so these styles here are styles that I've already pulled and kind of put together to match the out-of-box stuff. And you can very easily find those by just Chrome hitting F12, going to developer mode, being able to go in, and then you can click on these specific elements and then go in here and look at the class and then dive deeper into that to see what makes this class up and such. So that's a little bit outside the scope of this. So just trust me when I say that these will work. So we have all these, and then what we need to do is we need to take the map top bar, and we're going to want to put that in there for the class for the caption. We're also going to want to put it in for the class for the value. We're going to leave the BBUI pre in there. So right now you have the styles in the HTML set to display it and be able to move it through the JavaScript. So now what we need to do is we need to be able to link to the JavaScript file. And we do that in the Blackbaud system by putting the comments there and just specifying as a script and then put the path to it. I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to take this out. And then we're going to take the name of the JavaScript file. I'm just going to paste that in there. All right, so now we have everything set to point to the JavaScript file. So now in the JavaScript file, we can take it, we can actually take these and move these spans and actually put them up in the top bar alongside the lookup ID. All right, so now one thing we want to do before we go to do that is, since we've added our added a UI model, it modified our specs. So make sure that the spec's been saved, and then you'll want to reload spec that. So now the system knows to look for a specific UI model. All right, we can close the HTML, we can close the VB, we should go to close the XML, and just go straight to the JavaScript file. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit funkier, and you're going to write all your code that's going to move it around. So we'll walk through it. Let's first start with the standard. I think it's a Blackbaud methodology for writing all of this. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get all the frames, and we're just calling them frames because this is really the summary, right? So for the summary view form at the top, Blackbaud's going to put a specific class on it. And when it comes to caching, they're actually add multiple of these panes will be hidden in the HTML, so it can be a little tricky sometimes. So what we want to do is we want to loop through them. So we're going to look for, I'm going to grab all of these, and then we're just going to loop through them. All right, so now we're going to get this individual frame. All right. So now we've got the frame of the out-of-box product, and now what we want to do is we want to go to grab our specific values. So we're going to start with grabbing the caption first. I should grab the caption, and then now we're going to want to grab the value. Okay, so now that we have these, the next thing we're going to do is where we're going to put these. So we want to be able to, we want to go after the lookup ID. So now if we go back on the developers tools, inspect the element, we can come here and see that it's got the lookup ID underscore value. So we just want to get anything that's got this very specific text in the beginning or at the end of it. So we'll do that. Oops. It's very similar to what we just did, but now we're finding it on the on the top. I can understand. Okay. And our last little bit is we're going to look for our span class. Now we're going to check to see if we've already added, if we've already moved that prospect manager field from the bottom to the top. Like I said, there can be issues where you have it added up there multiple times over and over again because the caching of how CRM's done. So we'll just put a little bit of a check in there. We'll just call it JS Prospect Manager. Okay, so it's already been added. That's great. We'll just end it. If it hasn't been added, we want to add it. So now we're going to add this by simply just doing the value. We're going to call JavaScript after. We'll put Prospect Manager value. And after that, let's add the caption, and then we're going to add this class. Okay. And then what we need to do, we need to come underneath the initialize. Annotations aren't working very well. Call it when it's rendered. We want to call our initialize HTML fields like above. And that should be it. So now what we want to do is build from here and just put it out here as normal. You want the UI model DLL, the catalog DLL, and your vroot bin custom, and then this folder right here created under your vroot browser HTML forms custom with these two files in there. So let's see if we had rebuild was successful. Now we can take a look. If it kicked in, we can refresh. If not, we can just go in design mode, edit tabs, just hit save and call it to re-pull everything out there in case the cache is pulled it. Perfect, and there it is. Now we have the prospect manager. As you see, we took it from down below, and then we added up here and added the out-of-box styles to it. there you have it. We'll package up the solution and have that out for people to download and take a look at.